Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into something controversial. We're talking about the Saints Row reboot from 2022. Yeah, that one. The game that basically killed an entire studio and made the internet lose its collective mind. Now, it's 2025, and I've been seeing this game pop up on sale for dirt cheap, like $7-8. So I figured, you know what? Enough time has passed. The dust is settled. The patches have dropped. Let's actually see if Saints Row 2022 deserves all the hate it got, or if maybe, just maybe, we were all too harsh on it. Buckle up, because this is going to be a ride. We're talking about the good, the bad, and the absolutely bizarre decisions Volition made before they shut down. Let's get into it.
Alright, before we turn into the game itself, we need context. Saints Row as a franchise has been through some serious identity crises. The original Saints Row back in 2006, straight up GTA clone. No shame in it, but that's what it was. Gang warfare, greedy streets of Stillwater trying to compete with Rockstar's empire. Saints Row 2 in 2008 kept that energy, but added more personality, better customization, and honestly became a cult classic. Then, Saints Row the Third happened in 2011, and everything changed. Volition said screw realism and went full absurdist comedy. Dildo bats and insurance fraud, Magdal physics, over the top, everything. Saints Row 4 in 2013 cracked it to 11 with superpowers and alien invasions. At that point, there was nowhere left to go. You literally became the president of the United States fighting aliens with superpowers. Where do you even go from there? So, Volition decided, reboot. Start fresh. Go back to the roots. Except, they didn't really go back to Saints Row 1 and 2's gritty gang warfare. And they definitely didn't keep the chaotic absurdity of 3 and 4. They tried to split the difference and ended up in this weird middle ground that satisfied basically nobody. When the first trailer dropped, the internet exploded. People hated the new characters, thought they looked too soft, too millennial, not gangsta enough. Volition's response, basically, hey, let's get ahead, we're not backing down. That did not help. The game launched August 23rd, 2022 to absolute brutal reviews. Metacritic score of 63, buggy as hell. Their characters people couldn't connect with. And a year later, on August 2023, Volition shut down. 30 years of game development. Gone. That's the legacy Saints Row 2022 left behind.
Let's talk about what you're actually getting into when you boot up this game. You're in Santo, Ileso, a fictional city in the American Southwest inspired by Las Vegas. And honestly, the map is gorgeous. It's massive too, about 28.8 square kilometers or roughly 8 square miles. For comparison, that's bigger than any previous Saints Row map. You've got deserts, urban districts, a massive lake in the middle splitting everything up, and 21 different regions to explore. There's Monte Vista, Smelterville, the Badlands, Rojas Desert. Each area has its own vibe. The city actually feels alive in places, with attention to mid-20th century Americana, folk art, graffiti, even ghost towns in the desert. The map is genuinely one of the game's strongest points. It's colorful, diverse, and fun to just cruise around in. When you're just vibing, exploring, causing chaos without thinking too hard about the story, Santo Ileso can be a blast. But here's the problem. A beautiful map doesn't mean much if the game doesn't give you compelling reasons to explore it. Alright, let's rip the band-aid off. The story and characters are the weakest part of this game, hands down. You play as the boss, a customizable character who's struggling with student loans and working odd jobs. Your roommates are Kevin, Nina, and Eli. Together, you decide to start your own gang called the Saints to get out of debt and build a criminal empire. Sounds cool in theory, right? Except the execution is rough.
Kevin is a former DJ for The Idols, an anarchist party gay obsessed with chaos and social media clout. He's the comic relief, never wears a shirt, and grew up in foster care. Nina's the driver mechanic, former member of Los Panteros, who left because of their controlling leader. She's got a degree in art history and anthropology, but couldn't find work, so she fell back into being a mechanic. Eli is the smart one with an MBA who handles the business side of the Sant. On paper, diverse cast, different skill sets, room for interesting dynamics. In practice, they feel like they'd get absolutely buyed by the saves from the older games. The problem is the tone. These characters are written like they're in a sitcom about millennials dealing with student debt, not hardened criminals building a gang empire. First scene has them discussing waffle lions and rent while eating geese with their cat named after a cookie. I'm not kidding. That's how Volition chose to introduce your game. The humor doesn't land. Instead, the sharp, offensive, genuinely funny banter from Saints Row 2 or the absurdist comedy of Saints Row 3, we get sanitized fellow kids humor. It's safe, it's toothless, it's cringe. The rival gangs, Los Panteros, muscle cars and brute force, the idols, hacking and chaos, and martial defense industries have cool concepts, but they're underdeveloped. There's no real sense of escalation or threat. You never feel like you're earning your empire. And here's the kicker. The game itself seems aware of how repetitive it is. There's literally a mission called Corporate Retreat where your own character complains about the repetitive gameplay loop. That's not clever meta commentary. That's just admitting you know your game is boring. The story is short, maybe 15 to 20 hours for the main campaign, and feels like it was rushed to meet a deadline, which, spoiler alert, it probably was.
Now let's talk about what you actually do in Saints Row 2022. The gunplay, honestly pretty solid. Weapons feel punchy, there's good variety from standard assault rifles to wild stuff like an energy revolver that locks onto targets and a jetpack propelled football that sends enemies flying. The weapon customization is deep, and the challenges to unlock upgrades are actually reasonable for once. You got skills and perks that add abilities, some normal like health boosts, others absurd like telekinetic powers to throw enemies into the air and slam them down. The combat can be genuinely fun when it works. Driving feels better than previous Saints Row games. Cars are responsive, vehicle combat is zippy and satisfying. You can customize vehicles extensively. There's also wingsuits, helicopters, VTOL jets, tons of ways to get around Santo Ileso. Character customization is insane, probably the best in the series. You can tweak everything about your boss. Body type, gender, voice, facial features, tattoos, clothing. You can download other players' characters. It's genuinely impressive. But here's where it falls apart. Mission variety, or the lack thereof. Almost every mission is go here, shoot waves of enemies. Sometimes you shoot while riding in a car. Sometimes there's a mini-boss. But that's it. The gameplay loop gets repetitive fast. The game tries to break this up with criminal ventures, basically businesses you buy that unlock specific activities. You've got things like mayhem, blow stuff up, delivery missions, insurance fraud, get hit by Cosmo money, shoplifting, steal cars with helicopters. Some of these are fine, but they're recycled from older games and you have to grind through them to progress the story. So like the final mission is you literally need to own all 14 ventures and complete multiple chains of side activities. It's padding. Pure and simple. Oh, and the bugs. At launch, this game was a disaster. There were over 200 bugs that Evolution had to fix with their Bright Future update in November 2022. Callout was broken, missions with a glitch, the player icon on the map didn't even exist on launch on some platforms. Seriously, you couldn't see where you were on the pause menu map. Many of these issues haven't passed my now, but it shows how unfinished this game was on release. Oh yeah, this DLC? 3 expansions total. The Heist and the Hazardous dropped in May 2023, 9 months after launch. It's a Fast and Furious parody where you heist against a douchebag Hollywood star. It's fun. It feels more like old school Saints Row than the main game. But it's over in an hour. 1 hour of content after waiting 9 months. You also get a new district called Sunshine Springs for free, which is cool. Doc Ketchum's Murder Circus came in July 2023. It's a battle royale style solo mode where you fight through waves of enemies and rivals. Think Professor Genki from Santo 3, but less inspired. It's fine, but nothing special. Shadows of Rosewood Valley was the third expansion. Honestly, the DLC is decent if you already enjoyed the base game. But by the time I released, nobody was playing anymore. The damage was done.
Here is my reading. 6.5 out of 10. It's a mediocre open-world game with flashes of fun buried under uninspired writing and repetitive design. The real tragedy is what this game represents. It's not just a failed reboot, it's the death of a franchise and a studio with 30 decades of history. Felicia went out not with a bang, but with a whimper. So yeah, Saints Row 2022, a cautionary tale about reboots, corporate restructuring, and what happens when you try to please everyone and end up pleasing no one.